Just read for 2 minutes, I told myself. I didn't expect magic. I didn't expect motivation. I just wanted to outsmart the part of my brain that always found something more urgent to do than crack open a book. That one line, just 2 minutes, was the beginning of something surprising. And if you've ever struggled to build a reading habit in a world of TikTok temptations and Netflix nirvana, this might just change the game for you too. Let me walk you through 6 weirdly effective tricks I used to turn myself from a serial scroller into someone who actually enjoys reading again without needing superhuman discipline, monk-like focus, or quitting the internet cold turkey. 1. The 2-minute rule. Let's be honest, the hardest part about reading is starting. We imagine we'll have to read 30 pages, or finish a chapter, or sit still for an hour, and that image alone triggers a quiet rebellion inside us. So I tried something absurdly small. Just read for 2 minutes, that's it. Not 20, not even 5. I set a timer, opened a book, told myself I could stop after 2 minutes. And here's the wild part, I never stopped. Because once I cracked open the cover, read a paragraph or two, and got into the rhythm, the resistance melted. 2 minutes turned into 10, sometimes 30, but the mental barrier was gone. It's like tricking your brain into just dipping your toe in the pool, and then suddenly you're swimming. Pair this with a specific book spot in your house, like a comfy chair or quiet corner, to make the cue even stronger. 2. I made reading more rewarding than scrolling. Let's face it, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Netflix are engineered to hijack your dopamine. They know exactly how to drip feed you tiny jolts of pleasure one scroll at a time, and a quiet book with no lights, no edits, no memes. It doesn't stand a chance. Unless you flip the game. I stopped fighting dopamine and started hacking it. How? I picked books that were fast, fun, and easy to read. Think, short chapters, engaging storytelling. I gave myself a reward after reading. Sometimes chocolate, sometimes a scroll session, sometimes just a proud little internal fist pump. I let myself feel good about reading, instead of treating it like a chore. When you stop thinking of reading as broccoli and start treating it like dessert, it becomes its own reward. Don't resist dopamine, redirect it. Instead of trying to out-discipline your phone, make your book just a little more tempting. 3. I timed my reading. After a win, ever noticed how hard it is to read when you're sluggish? Your brain feels foggy, your attention span is shot, and even opening a book feels like a heavy lift. But after a small victory, even something as simple as a 10-minute walk, everything feels easier, so I started stacking reading right after a win. A short walk outside. The breeze, the motion, the fresh air, it clears the mental cobwebs. Other small wins that worked. Finishing a tiny work task, cleaning up my desk, doing 20 jumping jacks. Silly but effective. That post-win clarity window is golden. It's like giving your brain a runway to take off. And when I opened a book in that state, I actually wanted to focus. 4. Pair it with pleasure. Let me introduce you to my favorite reading partner, a steaming cup of coffee, and a blanket, and a playlist of mellow lo-fi beats. Oh, and a lamp with that warm golden glow that makes everything feel like a Wes Anderson movie. That, my friend, is not just reading. That is a ritual. I stopped treating reading like a productivity task. I stopped timing it. I stopped making it serious. Instead, I made it cozy. Reading plus coffee equals pleasure reading, plus rain sounds equals vibes reading, plus candlelight equals pure serotonin. This isn't just fluff. When your brain associates reading with comfort, warmth, and peace, you naturally crave it more often. Don't just read. Romance the habit. I tracked my progress like a gamer. Gamers don't grind for the sake of grinding. They do it for level ups, points, streaks, and loot boxes. So I asked myself, what if I turned reading into a game? Here's what I did. I printed a simple habit tracker. I added a streak counter. I even gave myself XP points for pages read. It sounds silly, but something magical happens when you see your streak hit 5 days, then 10, then 21. You don't want to break the chain. Your brain gets hooked on the visible progress. Think about it. In a video game, would you keep playing if there was no score, no quests, no way to know how far you'd come? Of course not. So why expect your brain to stay motivated with invisible progress? Even a check mark on paper can be powerful. 6, I swapped my environment. I made a crucial discovery. The chair I used to read in was the same chair I used to scroll Instagram for 90 minutes. Guess what happened when I tried to read there? Yep. My fingers twitched toward the phone. My brain expected dopamine hits, not Dickens. So I changed the game. I created a separate reading zone. One chair, one book, no laptop, no phone, just a cozy setting with one purpose, reading. It's like setting up a sacred space. Your brain starts to recognize this is where we read. It doesn't have to be fancy. A corner of the couch with a small lamp, a spot near the window with natural light, even a beanbag in a quiet nook. But make it distinct. Make it special. When your environment changes, your behavior follows. Bonus trick. I let go of the perfect book. Pressure, sometimes we don't read because we're stuck waiting for the right book. We want something life-changing, profound, or perfectly aligned with our current goals. So we read nothing. Here's what helped me. I gave myself permission to read anything. Yes, even silly fiction. Yes, even comic books. Yes, even something I might not finish. Reading isn't a test, it's a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows through use, not perfection. Start small. Read weird stuff. What matters is that you turn the page, not that the page is perfect. You don't need more discipline, you just need better tricks. If you've been beating yourself up about not reading more, stop. It's not a willpower problem, it's a system problem. And with the right tweaks, small, sneaky, delightful tweaks, you can turn reading into something you crave, not something you force. So try one of these tonight. Read for just 2 minutes. Pair it with a cozy drink. Track it with a fun check mark. Or stack it after a walk. Don't overthink. Just begin. Because once you open that book, even just a crack, you might find yourself falling in love with stories again. And trust me, that's a plot twist worth chasing.